Regal day, everyone. Welcome to our session for today. So, I hope you are all doing well, mentally, emotionally, and cognitively ready. Because today's topic is something na ginagamit natin sa araw-araw, pero bihira lang natin pag-isipan deeply. So, we're going to talk about knowledge. Now, at first glance, parang simple lang na alam ko yan. But when we really pause and reflect, medyo nagiging complicated siya. So let me ask you something. How do you know that what you know is actually correct? Paano mo nasasabing tama yung alam mo? So for example, you know that your friend is trustworthy. You know that certain news online is true. But paano kung mali pala? So today, hindi lang tayo mag-focus sa what you know, but more importantly, how knowledge works inside the mind. As a psychology student, this is very important because understanding knowledge helps us understand thinking, it helps us evaluate beliefs, and most importantly, it helps us become more effective critical thinkers. So by the end of this lecture, I want you to not just memorize the concepts, but to question, analyze, and reflect. So again, keep the question in mind habang nakikinig kayo. Paano ko nalalaman na tama ang alam ko? Let's start with the basic question. What is knowledge? So in everyday life, knowledge simply means awareness, familiarity, understanding. So example, alam mong may klase ka ngayon. Alam mong kailangan mong mag-aral para pumasa. Simple, right? But philosophers have asked a deeper question. What counts as real knowledge? So let's make this more interesting. Tanungin ng sarili, is the chair you are sitting on real? Yes, right? But what about the emotions like love, pain from a small cut? Are those real? So this is where the things become complex. Because suddenly, knowledge is not just about facts, it's about reality. And then we ask, how do we even know what is real? So this is the beginning of deeper thinking. So let's now connect this to psychology. So in cognitive psychology, we know that the brain does not just receive information, we interpret it. So meaning, reality is not directly experienced, it is processed. So for example, imagine a red traffic light. So for you, it means stop. For a child, this is just a color. For a colorblind person, it may look different. So same object, different interpretations. So what does this tell us? So reality is partly constructed by the mind. So think about the question. Do you believe reality is objective or subjective? So your answer will serve as our attendance code number 1. So let me tell you a fascinating story here. There's a film where Coca-Cola bottle falls from an airplane into an isolated tribe. Now, for us, the Coca-Cola bottle is just a bottle, maybe trash or something ordinary. But for them, for the tribe, it was seen as a gift from God. So imagine that. Same object, completely different meaning. Because they had no prior experience with Coke bottles. So yung isipan nila, they try to interpret it using what they already knew. So this shows a very important concept. Knowledge depends on context and prior experience. So in psychology, we call this schema or mental framework. So when new information comes in, we interpret it based on what we already know. Kaya, two people can see the same thing but understand it differently. Now we introduce two very important concepts, the ontology and epistemology. So let's simplify. Ontology asks what is real. Epistemology asks how do we know. So, ang example natin sa psychology dito, kapag ontology, does depression exist? Ang epistemology, how do we know someone is depressed? So, this is through symptoms, behaviors, and self-report. So, as a future psychologist, we don't just really accept the reality. We investigate how we know it. So, this is very important in research because different methods, different knowledge. A theory of knowledge tries to answer big questions like what is knowledge? How do we require it? Or how do we acquire it? And what is real? So, isipin mabuti to. A framework or system that organizes understanding. So, in real life, ginagamit natin ito kahit hindi natin napapansin. So, example, when you decide whether to believe a new article, you evaluate the source. You compare with other information and you check evidence. So that is you applying theory of knowledge. So kahit hindi conscious, we are constantly evaluating knowledge. One of the most famous definition of knowledge is knowledge equals justified through belief. So let's break it down. First one, belief. You must believe something. Second, true. It must be accurately be correct. Third, justified. So you must have a good reason or evidence. So example, you guess uulan today and umulan nga. So but that's not knowledge, tama? Kasi walang justification. Guess lang or hula mo lang ito. Pero if you check the weather, you saw dark clouds and you understood the patterns, then that becomes a knowledge. So the most important part here is justification. Kasi knowledge is not guessing, it is supported understanding. Now, let's zoom in on something very important, justification. Earlier, we said that knowledge is not just belief and not just truth. So, kailangan may justification. May dahilan, may ebidensya. So, let's compare two people. A child says water is H2O. But when you ask why, the child says, kasi sabi ng teacher. Now, compare it to a chemist. The chemist says water is H2O, but can also explain the molecular structure, the chemical bonding, and the experimental evidence. So, pareho yung kanilang sagot, but are they equal? No, kasi the depth of understanding and justification is different. So, very important in our profession kasi students memorize without understanding. So, ang tanong dito, minsan ba kapag nagre-review ka sa examination, pagkatapos na exam, lahat ng mga knowledge or concept ay nakalimutan mo na? No? So, kapag ganun, it's a sign of weak knowledge. So, remember, true knowledge is equal to understood, connected, and justified. Philosophers have debated for centuries what makes a belief justified. So there are three major approaches: foundationalism, coherentism, and reliabilism. So isipin natin yung iba't ibang ways of answering this. So bakit ko masasabi na tama ang alam ko? So each one offers a different perspective. So as we go through them, try to reflect which one do I use in my own thinking? Okay, let's start with foundationalism. So this theory says some beliefs are basic or foundational and all other knowledge builds from them. Example, I feel pain. So there's no need for proof kasi you directly experience it. I am thinking. So also, this is undeniable. So from these basic truths, we build more complex knowledge. So isipin natin like you are building a house. Foundation is your basic belief and yung structure, this is the complex knowledge. If the foundation is weak, everything collapses. So in psychology, this connects to sensory experiences and immediate awareness. Pero ito yung question natin. What if the foundation itself is wrong? So example, optical illusion or false memories. So even foundational beliefs can be questioned. Now, let's look at the coherentism. So, instead of focusing on basic beliefs, coherentism says knowledge is justified if it fits into a consistent system. So, in simple terms, ang sinasabi, your belief must make sense together. So, example, if you believe I value honesty, but you also believe it's okay to lie anytime, that's incoherent. Right? Merong contradiction. So in psychology, ang tawag natin dito ay cognitive consistency. So we naturally want our beliefs to align. That's why people feel uncomfortable when their beliefs conflicts, yung cognitive dissonance. So coherentism emphasizes logical consistency across beliefs. The third approach is reliabilism. So this one focuses on how beliefs are formed. It says belief is justified if it comes from a reliable process. So example ng reliable process is scientific experiment, careful observation, and logical reasoning. Example of unreliable processes, yung chismis, fake news, at yung mga bias. I-relate natin to sa real life natin. So if you believe something because you saw it on TikTok, is that reliable? So maybe yes, and maybe no, right? So ang reliabilism reminds us not all sources of knowledge are equal. So as students, well, critical thinking is key. Okay, so let's now shift from how knowledge is justified to types of knowledge. So philosophers and psychologists usually divide knowledge into three types: personal, procedural, and propositional knowledge. Each one represents a different way of knowing. So as we go through them, think about which type do I use most in my daily life? Again, which type do I use most in my daily life? Your answer will serve as attendance code number 2. First, personal knowledge. So this is based on your personal experience, emotions, individual's perspective. So example, I know what heartbreak feels like. Alam ko kung paano mag-cope sa stress. I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. So this type of knowledge is subjective, unique to each person. So in psychology, this is connected to autobiographical memory and self-concept. Important note here, personal knowledge is valid, but not always generalizable. So meaning, what is true for you may not be true for others. Next, procedural knowledge. This is knowing how. Example, riding a bike, driving, playing Mobile Legends, or typing without looking at the keyboard. And ito yung interesting part. You can do it, right? But you may struggle to explain it. So, subukan nyo to. So, try to explain to balance on a bike step by step. So, mahirap, right? That's because procedural knowledge is often automatic, stored differently in the brain. So in cognitive psychology, i-relate natin ito sa implicit memory. Third is propositional knowledge. This is knowing that. Example, the earth revolves around the sun. Memory has different types, and sleep affects cognition. So this type is objective, verbalizable, and testable. So this is usually what we measure in examination. And the important point here is just because you can state a fact doesn't mean you deeply understand it. So again, knowledge requires connection and meaning. Let us compare the two perspectives, psychology and philosophy. Ang philosophy, they focuses on truth, logic, and justification. Psychology focuses on how we think, how knowledge is formed, and cognitive processes. So, as psychology students, we are not just asking what is true. We are asking how do people come to believe something is true? So, this is very important in therapy, research, and education because people don't always believe based on logic. Sometimes, emotions, bias, and experiences. So, understanding knowledge means understanding the human mind. Okay, so now that we understand the types of knowledge, let's move to a very important question. Paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng knowledge? So, philosophers have proposed two major ways. Rationalism, empiricism. So, think of these as dalawang sources ng knowledge. Now, let me ask you, when you learn something new, do you rely more on A, thinking and reasoning, or B, experience and observation? So, ulitin natin, when you learn something new, do you rely more on A, thinking and reasoning, or B, experience and observation? Yung sagot mo dito, this is your attendance number 3. So, letters only. A or B lang. Okay, first, rationalism. This view says knowledge comes from reason and logic. So, meaning, you can arrive at truth by thinking carefully. So, even without direct experience. So, halimbawa, mathematics, logical arguments, and problem solving. So, for instance, you don't need to physically count all the triangles in the world to know that a triangle has 3 sides. So, you can deduce it logically. So, famous rationalists believed the mind has innate abilities to generate knowledge. Okay, let's try to reflect. Have you ever solved a problem by just thinking deeply even without trying it physically? So that is rationalism in action. Okay, now empiricism. This is the opposite perspective. It says knowledge comes from experience and senses. So example, you touch fire, it's hot. You taste food, it's sweet or bitter. You observe behavior, now you learn patterns. So in psychology, this is very important kasi many of our learning processes are based on experiences. So, alalahanin natin yung conditioning ni Pavlov, trial and error learning. Okay, ang empiricism, they aligned closely with science because science relies on observation, experimentation, evidence. So thus, rationalism is thinking, empiricism is experiencing. Now, here's the important insight. So these two are not enemies. They are partners. In real life, ginagamit natin ito pareho. So example, when you study for an examination or quiz, you read and you understand the concept. So that is rationalism. You practice and experience solving problems. So that is empiricism. So another example, cooking. Yung recipe instructions, rationalism. So yung actual cooking experience, empiricism. So effective learning happens when thinking plus experience work together. So as psych major, this is how you should study. Thinking plus experience work together. Now, let us summarize everything we discussed today. We learned that knowledge is not simple, it is complex and multi layered. It involves belief, truth, and justification. We also explored types of knowledge: personal, procedural, and propositional, ways of knowing, rationalism, and empiricism. Most importantly, knowledge is shaped by the mind and the world. So, as a future psychometrician or psychologist, your job is not just to know, but rather to understand, know how it happens. So, I encourage you, do not just accept the information, question it, analyze it, understand it deeply. Because in the end, the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your knowledge.